James Madison wrote the phrase "We the People" in 1787. 229 years have passed since this phrase has been written, but the concept of "We the People" is still relevant today. We asked people around campus about the concept of "We the People" and how it applies to voting. How important do you think voting is?
Well, we live in a democracy. A democracy depends upon a well-informed, engaged citizenry, which is what a good public education system turns out as a well-informed, engaged citizen. And democracy depends upon the people voting. If very few people vote, everybody has a constitutional right to vote. And in my view, an obligation, in a democracy, you have a duty to vote.
Yeah, the popular vote is really important. It defines what's going to go into the Electoral College and ultimately leads to who our next president is going to be. And it's important that everyone takes part and fulfills their civil duty.
I think voting is very important, especially in this election, because of how close the race is.
What does it mean to you to be American in regards to voting?
It means to believe that our country is good, and to believe that as an individual you can make a difference. Through voting is an obvious way, but also in other ways. And voting is just really symbolic of all of it.
And what makes this election different from ones in the past?
What makes this election different is that Donald Trump doesn't have any prior experiences compared to Hillary Clinton. And Hillary's the first woman to make it past the primary.
What do you hope comes of this election?
I hope that something changes. I hope that whether it be we realize that it's time that we open our minds to something different and new, whether it be bad or good, I hope that we wake up to something that's better than it was before.
Do you think social media has had an impact on the concept of "We the People" in regards to this election?
Awesome question. There are people, such as myself, who don't use social media. Then there are people like the millennials, if you don't mind my using that word, who tend to be almost addicted to social media. And it's a primary, and again, I'm not criticizing. It's just a different way of communicating. So remember, democracy lasted a long time without radio. Then we had radio. Democracy survived radio just fine. Then suddenly television. We didn't have televised debates before 1960. Democracy survived that. In my opinion, it's made democracy better. I have absolutely no reason to think social media will not improve democracy. The better informed people are, the better it is. Can it be abused? Yes. Can it be used to bully people? Yes. But I think our democracy will survive.
We the people. I think it's made it more about the people and about people's personal and private opinions, because nothing's personal and private anymore. Everyone is always sharing and always talking, and they just can say anything that they want to say, and expect that there are no ramifications. And so it's definitely changed the way that people share and the way that people feel, even because they are so much more open. Their opinions tend to be a lot stronger, and it's changed the way that we stand for ourselves in our nation.
How important do you think the concept of "We the People" is in politics and society today?
I think that it's really important. I think it's important that we look at our nation as a whole. A lot of social media and a lot of just media in general today individualizes the person, and you're independent, you can do it on your own, but it's really important to realize that we are all one nation, and that we can't do it on our own. We live in communities, we live in cities and states and countries, and it's really, really important that we stand together and try to make this the best nation that we can.